Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about cash versus finance. Now this is something again which I see people shooting from the hip. They don't make an educated calculation on if you should buy something with cash or finance. Now in this country you'll hear me talk about it a lot. The illusion of making it is owning your own house without a mortgage and not having any debt. It's absolutely fucking bollocks. You're completely restricting your growth by having that type of mindset. So let me show you how you should make that calculation, if it should be cash or if you should put something on finance. So this is what I'm doing when I make that calculation. Now, my car is an £113,000 i8. Now, I'm not telling you that to be fucking Billy Big Balls and going, look, I've got an i8, because the amount of money that I put down on that car was absolutely zero. I put nothing at all down. So when I went into BMW to buy that car, and they said, how much would you like to put down, Mr. Green? And I said, absolutely fuck all. So I don't want to put any money down on the car. And the reason for that was the car was at 0% finance. So if I can get the car at 0% finance, it means I can now use that money in order to put into somewhere else. Now, you might say, well, there's 0% finance cars, they're quite hard to come by. And yes, those deals probably only come around every sort of couple of years. But here's the thing, we're going to do a calculation now. So maybe you've bought your car cash recently, and you're probably going to realise now why you've actually fucked up and why you should have put it on finance. So roughly at the moment, at the time of shooting this video, then you're probably looking at around about a 7% interest rate for you to put a car on finance. So let's say that this was a £30,000 car. So a £30,000 car, and you've gone and bought it out cash with money that you had in the bank because you didn't want to pay the finance. So here's the calculation. If that car was £30,000, if you'd put that on interest, so if you'd have put that onto finance, you'd have had 7% on that 30,000. So at its worst possible, at the highest amount, so when you first started the finance off, because obviously it's going to chip down, at the worst possible time, it means 7% of 30,000 means you were paying £2,100 a year in finance, in interest, by putting the car on finance. So you might be looking at it and going, well, I bought my car cash, so I'm actually saving myself £2,100 a year. Now, this is the calculation you should always be doing if you're wanting to try and get your money working for you. Because remember, this isn't, if you're after a box standard life and you're after just strolling through life and going through the motion, then maybe you'll buy your car off cash. But if you're the kind of person who wants to get your money working for you, and you want to scale your business, you want to earn more money, get your money working harder for you by being smart, then you absolutely need to be doing calculations like this. So I'm always looking, where can I get my best bang for my buck? And what I mean by that is, where will that money work the hardest for me? So somebody buying the car cash might look at this as a £2,100 saving. Now, if I can turn that £30,000 into, say, a 20% ROI, which is return on investment, which I'm always looking at, then I'm actually losing 13% by putting it on finance. So if I could have put that £30,000 into an asset, i.e. a property, and got a 20% return on investment, would mean that that 30 grand could have made me £6,000 per annum. So if I'd have put that 30 rather than paying off the car and saving 7%, I looked, rather than the saving, I look where I can put my 30% in and where I can get a gain. I can now make 20% off that 30,000, meaning that by paying the car off, I'd actually be £3,900 down. So the difference between 6,000 and 2,100 is 3,900. So I'd actually be £3,900 worse off by buying the car out cash. So quite often, when you understand how to invest correctly, the gain you can get off your own cash can actually pay the finance on the car, and you can self-finance the car just by the gain you can make off your own money. Now, this here isn't even taking in consideration further strategies that I use. So with this £30,000 here, you could put that into at least one deposit a year. If you buy sort of in my area, you'll be able to get 2 deposits out of that. Now, if you're looking at creative strategies of buying below market value, and you can make £20,000 below market value, so you're making money on day one, you've now not just lost 3,900, you've lost an additional £20,000 by not putting that into an asset that can work for you by buying below market value. So this is the calculation you should be doing on cash versus finance, and you should never ever be shooting from the hip and just going, right, I'll buy it cash. Or maybe you're of the mindset of, I don't want to be in debt, it's bad to be in debt. It's smart to be in debt if you can turn your money into a higher ROI. If you don't know what you're doing with your money, you don't know how to invest, then yes, you're probably best off buying it cash. But this is a lesson for you to get smart. Learn how to make to apply strategies like this. Learn how to make 20% off property. Learn how to buy below market value, where to buy below market value, what type of people want to buy below market value. And these are all things that I teach on my training. It's the reason why my mentees in a couple of years have gone from standing start to having portfolios of over £2 million. And this year we've had people making £1 million portfolios from scratch in not much more than 6 months, because they're applying really creative strategies that I teach. So that's what you should be looking at, cash versus finance. If you've got benefit from this video, please like it, please share it, maybe tag somebody in that you know will benefit from this. Maybe you've just bought your car in cash and you're thinking, oh fuck, I've just wasted all that money. Or maybe you know a friend who's bought his car cash, and you know now that he's potentially or she's potentially lost money as well. A bit of banter, you could tag them in that, tell them they've fucked up, which they probably have. So if you've got benefit from that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you'll get more of these great content videos that I'm constantly making. If you look in the description below, there'll be a link to our property and business training that we do, and there's also opportunity to get my free Amazon best-selling book, As Safe as Houses, and I hope to see you back on another video. Thank you, Stephen.